order of operations. Just very quickly going back over order of operations. When you're doing more than one sum, so there's more than two numbers, what order do you deal with them in? So remember our old friend BODMAS. Any sums in brackets, you do those first. Then O, any powers of numbers. Now, division and multiplication happen at the same time left to right. So this is divide and multiply left to right. And the same with the AS, addition and subtraction, add and subtract left to right. Now, you need to work line to line, keep all parts in the sum, so don't just do one bit and leave out all the rest of the numbers, and underline what you're going to tackle next. And of course, check it with a calculator. We're just making sure that you understand. So 3 plus 5 times 2. Now let's get our BODMAS up. No brackets, no powers, but there's division or multiplication, so we're going to do the 5 times 2 first. Every time you have to do something, put it on a new line, equal signs line up, so we say equals. We're going to deal with 3 later, but we want to keep it. We can't just write 5 times 2, because you can see this will be 10, that'll be 3, it'll end up as 13. But we've got to keep that 3 plus, do the 5 times 2, which is 10, 3 plus 10 is 13, and your calculators are mostly pretty good. The green ones will do it for you. So if you type in 3 plus 5 times 2, you'll get 13. So the calculators know order of operations, so you can always check your answer. Now, 12 divided by 3 times 6, no brackets, no powers, but there's division and multiplication, and that's left to right. So first, we're going to do this one. Underline that you'll do it. 12 divided by 3 is 4, and then keep the times 6. We want to keep all of it happening every line, because this equals that. And then 4 times 6 is 24. And if you're not sure, 12 divided by 3 times 6, we've got 24. So always check. Now, there's a negative number in here, 20 plus 10 times negative 3. Now, this is why I said sums in brackets. That's not a sum in the bracket. It's just saying, hey, this is a negative that belongs to this 3. So another strategy that's actually really useful is to do it first. 20 plus 10 times, in brackets, negative 3. And they've worked out that's negative 10. So you will expect to get that. So no sum in the bracket. We're going to do the times first. Equals 20 plus, because nothing else happened here yet, 10 times negative 3. If you can't do it, just do 10 times negative 3, negative 30. 20 plus negative 30, which is the same, you remember. Plussing and minus is like just taking away. 20 minus 30 is negative 10, and we knew we were going to get that because we checked. Now here we've got sums in brackets. Now you're okay to do them both on the same line. Yes, I need to do this sum in the brackets first, but I need to do that one second, and it's just a times in between them, so it's okay. 2 plus 1 is 3, times 3 minus 8 is negative 5. If you want to put that in brackets, you can. And then 3 times negative 5, if you're feeling a bit shaky on your negatives, 3 times negative 5, negative 15. And remember, you can type that whole sum in and make sure that you're correct. So you see, every time we're keeping all the numbers on the same line. I'm keeping that 20 and putting the answer to this bit. 2 squared times 10. So you remember here, powers of numbers happen before we multiply. So we put our equals. We're going to do 2 squared first. 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. And then I bring down the times 10. And 4 times 10 is 40. If we're not sure, check. 2 squared. See, we've got the little arrow there that we need to come back down. Times 10 is 40. Last one. Now this is tricky because we've got sums in brackets, but in the brackets we've also got to do order of operations. I've got to do the times first. So I put my equals and I keep everything else except I get the answer for that. 3 times bracket 20 minus 8 times 2 is 16. Now I've got to still got to do the sum in the bracket first. That equals 3 times 20 minus 16 is 4. And then we do that one, 3 times 4 is 12. And check with your calculator. So as long as you follow BODMAS, when it's division or multiplication or addition and subtraction, remember you do them all together, left to right for each pair. And keep your working with your equal signs lining up down the page and keeping all the parts of the sum, not just the bit you're dealing with at the moment. And that should mean you're okay with order of operations.